Fuzion here, back with another reaction video. And today we're going to be reacting to some more First Take. Stephen A is going to be talking about Wembanyama and Giannis and Jokic. All three of them played quite well yesterday. Yeah. We have a stream at 750 subscribers. Become a member. There's a couple things that I gotta tell you guys about. I'm trying to think about. My bad, y'all. Anyway, fuck it. Let's go ahead and just get started.
Averaging 19, what is it? 19, 10, and 10 with over 3 blocks per game. Only 3 rookies in NBA history have done it. David Robinson, Alonzo Mourning, and the one and only Diesel himself, Shaquille O'Neal. So we got to give love where love is due with Wemby, okay? Basically piggybacking off of everything that you just articulated. Here's what I want to tell you that I peel away from it. The last part that you're talking about in terms of how much they wanted. You talked about Embiid. We saw him going for the MVP last year. We see Jokic, right? We're not surprised at his greatness. We understand how phenomenal and great he is. And we don't want to disrespect the Denver Nuggets because that's what we don't need to do. They're the reigning defending NBA champions.
Guys, just real quick, I do want to go over the stat line from yesterday. All three of these players played great. The Nuggets beat the Warriors with a buzzer beater half court three from Jokic. He ended the night with 34, 9, and 10. He shot the ball well. He only missed 3 shots, 13 for 16, 2 for 2 from the 3-point line. Giannis, 44 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists, 19 for 28, 2 for 3 from the 3-point line, 4 for 6 from the free throw. Great stat line as well. Wemby, 27 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 5 blocks, 10 for 18, 2 for 8 from the 3-pointer. 5 for 6 from the free throw. These are great stats. 3 offensive boards for Wembanyama. I do like to call out the offensive rebounds because that's just an extra bucket. But 5 turnovers and 5 fouls. For a rookie and for somebody who has a lot of skill like that, he's playing sort of where we would like him to be. I do think that Spurs team is just not doing what they're supposed to do. Wembanyama to touch the ball 90% of the time coming down the court. The starting point guard for the Spurs should be averaging around 7 or 8 assists. Who is their starting point guard? Hold on, y'all. Because it's easy points for him. You know, just throw it in that general vicinity and he'll jump. Trey Jones. He's averaging 5 assists. Come on, bro. That's not how that works. Your point guard should be surveying and finding Wembanyama every single time he comes down the court. One day I'm going to make me a little 2K build. Like for my team, for my career, where I'm gonna just make Wembanyama a beast, bro. I'm gonna make a point guard and just make Wembanyama the god that he should be. He should be averaging at least 25, 27 a night easily, because you can't expect some 30-point highlight games because he can shoot the ball quite well. He has a lot of offensive threats. He can shoot the mid-range. He has a pretty solid step back. His handle is tight. He knows how to get to the rim when needed. And he has confidence. So that's what I like to see from him. Giannis is Giannis, and Jokic is doing Jokic things. Yeah. I just think that the Nuggets and the Bucks are the two games to beat in their respective conference. I think that not many players can match up with these three. Giannis can match up pretty well between those two. Wembanyama can match up pretty well between these two. And Jokic may be the only one with a slight disadvantage, but his defensive numbers are getting better. So even that might be questionable. But the athleticism is what sort of gets people by with Jokic. That's why I have Giannis over Jokic just slightly. But Jokic does everything else better than Giannis, except for finishing and defense. So that's two things. As far as shooting, efficiency, like scoring wise, especially for his shots, he makes his team a whole lot better. And I say this every single time. That Aaron Gordon pickup for the Nuggets really, really changed his team. It really, really unlocked Jokic to really show what a great passer he is. We already knew he was a good passer. He was feeding a Jamal Murray quite well. Michael Porter Jr. as well was a great addition. He is a catch and shoot guy that works well for Jokic. But finding a power forward that can cut and throw it up to the rim and he'll finish it, that was perfect. And Aaron Gordon has somewhat developed the game. He reminds me of a Detroit Pistons Blake Griffin. Very athletic, can handle the ball. Maybe not as good, but still has that skill set. So solid. But I'm done rambling. Let's go ahead and get back to what Stephen A is talking about.
And they're actually the favorites to come out of the West with all the noise being made about everybody else. But when you think about what you saw from Jokic, not surprising. When you think about what you saw from Steph Curry, who had a damn good game last night, that's not surprising. I know you were talking about the bigs, but I got to throw a small brother up in there who's the greatest shooter that God ever created. We can't forget about him. We saw the greatness of Wemby. We saw Brook Lopez make the top 10 for bad reasons. He was number 5 and 4 on the damn list, okay? Well, what happened to him last night, courtesy of Wembanyama and Fasal. Or Johnson rather. But here's the deal. For me, what I walked away with loving outside of the obvious future greatness of Victor Wembanyama, I walked away with even more appreciation for Giannis. That's what I walked away from. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what basketball is all about. See, this is where, and I say this a lot of times, Molly, when I'm talking about the game. Football, there's so many different components that come into it. Baseball, you could have 8 players show up, but the pitcher got a bad night and ruins everything. All of this other stuff can happen. But in a game of basketball, if you've got a superstar or two, you literally could sit up there and change things by saying, here's the ball, take me in. And if you're a guy committed to doing that, things can happen. It is one thing for Wembanyama to do what he does. It is another thing entirely for Giannis, who's going to be Giannis, but to be in complete attack mode against this guy. Dunked on him once with the left, tried to get him again, but Wembanyama blocked him, was in complete attack mode. And when you see that, that's what you love and appreciate.
So just real quick, just to go over a few things there. Especially something that I just saw with what Victor Wembanyama does quite well. But Giannis, his numbers went up, and it is having to do a lot with Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard really spaces the floor. It really forces the help to somewhat be late on a couple plays because you have to inch even that much more over for Damian Lillard, someone who can shoot the 3 ball from deep. So you almost need to guard him at half court or he's going to shoot it. And you have Giannis just streaking down at full speed. Easy passes. Malik Beasley, he's playing well for this team. He's shooting threes. He's hitting threes. That's another floor spacer, Brook Lopez as well. So just adding more floor spacing for Giannis to rim run and for Giannis to rim run and then do a dish out, his numbers are going up and they're showing up. And he's playing well on both sides of the ball as well. And that's what I was going to bring up about Wembanyama. He played excellent defense. I think it was a block. And then he came back, reward the big man. He pulled up, hit the three. That's sort of what makes him a threat, in my opinion. He plays both sides of the ball effectively, and he wants to play both sides of the ball. Not a lot of NBA players like to play defense or want to play defense. That's something that you see from Giannis a lot, is he likes playing both sides. Kawhi, Paul George, Russ, he is playing great defense this year. And it's good to see Wembanyama playing really, really good defense. Shout out to the dude in Detroit. I can't think of his name. He's one of the twins. He's a really great defender. I see him in 2 years being a defensive player of the year. And I also see him really like developing his offensive game, or being a lot more comfortable to try to go get a bucket, because I know as a rookie it may be tough to really feel that comfortability, sort of fill it out. But I say give him 2 years and he's gonna be dangerous.
Appreciate with the game of basketball. One of the things that I've religiously detested is when you got guys talking and then all of a sudden they encounter one another, but they're defending somebody else. They're going up against somebody else. They're not embracing Wendy and accepting the challenge, at least verbally, and sometimes on the basketball court as well. I didn't see that from Giannis last night. And Giannis reminded us what it's supposed to be about. Yeah, I'm here. I'm a former league MVP and I'm an NBA champion. But this young buck is coming in here trying to show me what he's got. Let me remind him who the hell I am. And when Giannis said, wait a minute, guess who I am? And that is what you look for from the game of basketball. It is what it's capable of giving, what the sport is capable of giving it to you on a night in, night out basis. And to see guys like that, and you brought up Embiid. Embiid, why do I love Embiid so much? Because he doesn't talk trash about or to people he doesn't have to go against. He talks it about people he knows he's gonna go directly up against. And he's like, I'm coming, I'm gonna bust your living, you know what, and there's nothing you're gonna do about it. And then sure enough, the competition comes. Giannis don't talk like that, but he plays like that. And that's what I love. That's what we saw last night. And the fact that when Giannis showed up the way that he did shows us what kind of attitude he has. And I'm glad you brought up Chet Holmgren too, because Chet Holmgren got attitude, y'all. And Oklahoma City's winning. And that brother's contributing to it. Watch him too, because despite what we're seeing from Wembanyama, Chet Holmgren in some people's eyes is still a leading candidate for Rookie of the Year honors. And he's another 7-footer.
Wendy, give you the final word here.
And Giannis did it on the second night of a back-to-back. In an era where, not everybody's bringing it all the time. They had a huge, highly contested game in Indiana. They flew down to San Antonio, and Giannis gave that game on the second night of a back-to-back in January because he wanted it. It was the symbolism of everything that is great about the NBA. And here we are in the biggest moments of the football season, where we got the national championship coming up, and we got the ultimate weekend here of the NFL, and those guys stole the show. And that's what makes the NBA great, what we saw last night, because you can see that on a regular Thursday night in January.
You're usually seeing Giannis tower over people. Last night, there was somebody towering over him, and Giannis was attacking like he was small. He was trying to treat him like he was small.
Yeah, bro, that's just Giannis. I love watching Giannis play. He might be my favorite player at the moment, but I would like to see Wembanyama really talking to Giannis. I think that is someone you should try to emulate as far as a mindset perspective. I think Wembanyama has a higher ceiling than Giannis because, first of all, he's a rookie, and he already has a really solid, a great handle. He can get to the basket. He can shoot. He has a solid step back. His bag is there. He just needs the experience. Put some weight on his frame. You work with Giannis because Giannis did that. And I think that Vic may be the GOAT. Give him about 2 years. And I'm sure that the Spurs are going to try to pick up either a veteran point guard or another NBA star or something to work with Vic. And I think that team is going to be really, really good next year. But yeah, so that's all I got for you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys later. Peace.